favor. You'd be kind enough, register for my Tuesday webinar. If you come, that's fine, but I just truly need everybody to register. It really helps me. You don't have to come, but you have to register, please. That's my favor. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Services PMI and the ISM Services Report. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the Trading Director of 10-Minute Trades. Please remember that all trades are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully. And I'd like to welcome everybody that's out there watching us on YouTube. We are streaming live today, and just so you understand, there was no DMM. You did not get an email because there is no DMM. This report, there's actually two reports we're looking at. One of them is a report that I have watched off and on over the years because it always, and it's one of the rare times you can use the word always, it always, 99.9% of the time, it trades before ISM non-manufacturing, which has been renamed to ISM services. Okay. I think about 6 months ago, they renamed this report ISM services. It's essentially ISM manufacturing. We pretty much have stopped trading this report because of the amount of failed reactions over the past 10 months. I mean, that's the truth. So for me, it's still a very important report because it was what used to be a prime trade. And the world crisis has made mincemeat out of the prime, some of the prime trades. It's made this world crisis, obviously, plus recent market behavior is making trading the way that we trade challenging. It just is what it is. And, you know, we have to deal with it. But what that means is we have to do a monstrous amount of testing. We spent hours and hours and hours testing this ISM services. We have a possible setup, but to complicate things today, it's also a holiday for half the world. It's Easter Monday. The markets are extremely volatile. So this is a testing room this morning. Okay. There's a fair amount of good trades this week that we have to trade live. You don't want to put your money on an unknown. ISM services is unequivocally an unknown. I'm telling you now, you don't want to do what I'm doing. Now, the 945 trade does test better, okay? It's testing better, but normally, most of the time, I will do one live market data test with a new setup. Not always, but I'd say about 75% of the time, I'll do a live market data test. And because of the holiday situation, and, you know, I'm not joking, you're looking at the United Kingdom, Germany, Switzerland, Easter, France, Spain, Australia, Hong Kong, South Africa, China, New Zealand. That's a lot of holidays on a Monday when you would normally want to trade. You're not going to get normal trading when all those countries are on holiday. You just don't. I mean, it is what it is. So this is a great day to give you an idea. If your setup can work on a holiday, where the markets are usually even more volatile. Plus, to make things even a little bit more complicated, although I think it's a mistake, and I'll tell you, let me look at something really quickly. There might be a mistake on investing.com. And if you bear with me, I'll explain what it is. But I just noticed it. I think it's a mistake. If Forex Factory doesn't always have all the same reports that investing.com has. So I like to go over to FX Street. FX Street, you can filter a lot of the reports and you can show everything. And that New York report doesn't show up. No, it does. I take it back. This ISM New York report complicates the 945 report. Even though it's a lousy impact report, it has a little bit of impact. So it just means that the setup that we have come up with, I think, is a good test and to see if it works. So let me explain what we're going to do, because we don't have a lot of time. It's a 945 trade, the first one, and then ISM. Under no circumstances would I put money into ISM services today. I might not put money into ISM services anytime in the near future because the report's not working. I mean, that's the reality that we have to deal with. The report's not working. All right. Our setup might save us, and we'll find out in a couple of minutes. But the first report that we're trading is services PMI, not the New York and the market composite. Okay. It's essentially services PMI. We came up with a setup to use a trap trade. And this is why I put those videos up on the website so that you all could start practicing your trap trades, understand how they work. Even though we're changing the way we trade it a little bit, that's why it's important to come into the trade room so you know how we're changing the way we use the trap trade. And I'll explain what I mean. The trap trade is a separate strategy, okay? So you just load it in, and then let's go top down. Ignore contraction, all right? I think I'm going to get this taken out of the trade. It's something we never finished. It never worked. It was something my boss was working on, and then we just realized it didn't work, and we stopped development on that part of the trade. So never enable contraction. It doesn't work. The bracket center is one of the fields you want at price at the time. Position size is how many contracts. That's 1. Wait for spike is default. It's always 5 seconds. Position size 2 should be 1 if you're trading 2 contracts. And I'm going to make a small update to the trap trade and clean up these little areas of confusion. Stop loss position should not be average. It should be last fill price. And our stop today, we were testing 10, but these markets are volatile. I'm increasing it a tiny bit to 12 just because I think we should be a little bit bigger. It could even be 15 in my opinion. Tier 1 is order. I'm going to change the names of these to orders, okay? Because that's all they are. Orders above the current price, orders below the current price. And our setup for this trade is 14. Our first order is 14 ticks away from the current price. Our second order is 22 ticks away from the current price. The entry time is always the exact time of the report. This is a 9:45 report. Okay. And then the order preparation seconds, and this is why you want to watch the videos. You're supposed to, although this is how we're changing the trap trade. The markets are so volatile, you don't have a lot of time to prep. Okay. Because if you take the time to prep and put your orders on the charts early, what's going to happen is you're going to get filled before the news comes out. You don't want that to happen. So we're not taking time to prep like we used to. It doesn't radically change or ruin any trades. I've been trading trap trades forever. Don't forget to go to time.is and sync your computer, okay? I'm doing everything as I talk because there's not a lot of time. I'm only taking 10 seconds to prep. That means my orders are going to show up on the chart 10 seconds before 10 o'clock. And sometimes if your orders, your tiers are placed in such a way that they're not well placed for support and resistance, it gives you the opportunity to adjust them around support and resistance, okay? And we've been doing trap trades more and more, so it'll get explained more and more as we do them over and over. The idea of the trap trade, first off, you have 3 buttons. Cancel the outer order. Adjust. That's why I want you to watch the video so you understand what the adjust is. The adjust is a button that when you have a lot of time to prep for a trap trade, you can hit that adjust button and it will help you to get the best possible fill. And then there's close the trade, or you can close the trade with the control panel, the trade panel in Ninja. Don't try to close out a trap trade with the enabled check mark. Use either the close button or the close button in Ninja. The idea with a trap trade is we want to get filled as the price is dropping. We want to get filled long for a potential reversal. If the price is going up, we want to get filled short for a potential reversal. The idea of a trap trade is a reversal trade. Now, this particular report tested pretty well with these trap trade settings, okay? But it's only been tested, never traded on live market data. And that's what I'm doing here today, live market data. It's the best test. And then we'll go back into trading again with gold, and we're trading gold on this. I'm watching the NQ. You could watch the ES. It's up to you. But at 10 o'clock, we have ISM services. Used to be known as ISM non-manufacturing, which literally I've never seen my boss not release a daily market mover for a trade so major like ISM services. But that's how poorly the report has been behaving. There's nothing we can do about a report that doesn't behave. Now, if you'd be kind enough, I need people to register for my webinar. Between you and I'd love it if you come, but if you can't make it, you'll get a video, but register, please. I need at least 6 more people to register or I'm in big trouble. All right. I need at least 6 more people to register. Okay, so there's our trap, our setup, 10 seconds before the news comes out. I'm not moving anything. The news is medium good, actually a good result for a trap trade to work because it's not a gigantic offset. I would give this roughly a minute to fill one way or another. And because of the holiday, you just might not have much of a response today. There's just a lot less people watching the markets. Now, if you think it's only going to fill your first order, we call them tiers, you can hit the cancel button. It won't cancel the trade. It'll cancel this outer tier. But I'm going to give it a minute at least. It looks like it's going to fill that top order. If it does, it'll reverse, I think. So let's see if it has any power to go up and fill that second order. Give it a few seconds. And if it really looks like it's starting to reverse, I can hit the cancel button, or I can hit the X and it'll cancel the outer tier. But it looks like it might want to fill it. So I'm going to let it fill it, because that'll give me a better chance of the trade working. Unless it blows through and tests the high of the day, then I'll get stopped out. Okay. So now I'm filled short in both directions. My stop is there. All right. Now, what we're looking for is for price to reverse. On a trade where the news was positive, it should normally push gold down a little bit. But, you know, this is also one of those smaller reports. We're also on a holiday. But you could see it's not exploding up. So you're not in a panic mode. You're not overly panicked that the trade isn't going to work yet. But I would probably combine my two orders. Right? Now, we don't have a combine button on the trap trade. Trap trade's a little bit older technology than our JOBB breakout strategy, but it really is still completely valid. Now, if it doesn't work today, it's not because there's something wrong with the strategy. It's because the market is not cooperating. Okay. Right now, the market's not cooperating. Gold doesn't want to move down at all, it appears. Now, the stop size really should only be about 12, 1726. It should be 1727.70. Really should be the stop. That's plenty big. And this trade really looks like it's not working. I'm so happy I didn't trade it today because of the holiday. Because, I mean, I think you're just getting, and just because I don't know that gold, the way gold's been trading, gold's been extremely challenging. And look, one tick in real life, the market probably would have taken your money. Don't you think? Real life, the market probably grabbed your money. That's my gut feeling. But now it's going the opposite way. That's what you want it to do. Maybe the market would have cooperated and you wouldn't have gotten stopped out. Okay. I think probably with gold as volatile as it's been, probably shouldn't use anything smaller than a 15 tick stop. I just think you're asking for a loss if you do. If you go for a 15 tick stop, I think you just give yourself Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. Not my fault. So ISM services PMI, tiny, tiny, tiny little profit possible. If you used our new setup, not impressive today, but again, holiday, not the best day. But the setup looks valid. Now, the problem is ISM services. We're doing a trap trade. It's a slightly different setup, of course. The problem with this report is you can have no preparation. The trade has been so volatile, so you make it a 0 for order preparation. One tier, an order, position size 1 and 1. You don't want to be average price. You want to be last fill price, price at the time. The stop, it really should be 15. And then our tiers are 10 and 20. That's the testing. I take that back. Chantal, you did 15 and 20. Am I correct? You did 15 and 20. Correct me if I'm wrong. You did 15 and 20. Let me make sure that I'm right. So ISM services. Final, let's see, services. Yeah, 15 and 20 is our tiers. All right, so tier 1 is 15. That means order 1. Tier 2 is 20. And the program makes the stop what it is sometimes. One order on each. No preparation time, so everything's going to take place exactly at 10 o'clock for the trap trade. No time to prepare, because normally this report has been so volatile before the report that if you tried to prepare, the odds were extremely good you would get filled before the news came out, unknown if it would be the right side or the wrong side of the trade, of the, the news. However, the way gold's been behaving these days, what is the right side or the wrong side for the way gold's been behaving? Normally, when the news is good, gold is supposed to go down. Normally, when the news is bad, gold is supposed to go up. Now, the news was slightly good on that last report. Gold just kept going up. The NQ went the right direction. It moved up on slightly good ISM news. But gold isn't even all that volatile at this moment. It's only down $1, a little more. But gold just has not been responding, as we've seen, to news moves. Now, I'd be happy to answer any questions after the trade that anybody wants to ask me about the trap trade setup. So what's going to happen at 10 o'clock? My tiers or orders are going to show up on the chart above and below the price, above and below the current price. Okay. Above and below the current price. One position each. Price at the time, last fill price. The program makes the stop 17. Tiers are 15 and 20. Entry time is 10 o'clock. No order prep. So the orders are going to show up at 10 at the time of the news, which is sort of like jumping on a moving train if the news is on time. And that's one of the other issues we've been dealing with. News has been, since this world crisis began, news has been released haphazardly. We're seeing it. Reports aren't released together. One more time, folks, scroll up and sign. I'd appreciate it if you sign up for my webinar. It's tomorrow. And let's see what happens with the trap trade on services. It's I see, you see that investing.com is still calling it ISM non-manufacturing. Financial Juice is still calling it ISM non-manufacturing, but it really has been renamed to ISM Services. Now, today, the volatility is not as crazy as it would be on a non-holiday, probably. Although the NQ is its usual up, over 150 points. So you've got very good news. Gold shot down and didn't fill, okay? Which leads me to think maybe, the tiers are big, right? The tiers are pretty big, 15. Now, tiers of like 12 would have filled, right? And we would have had a great reversal on one contract. So you wait about a minute. If you don't get filled, it is a potentially choppy report because that's the way it's been behaving. And there's a fair amount of different news also. But, you've got this holiday going on. You don't really have, you have a whipsaw candle. You've got a minute with no fill. One of the points of our setup is to try and be safe. Sometimes a no fill is your safest trade. Okay. That doesn't mean that your setup's bad. It means your setup protects you. Now, gold, you're a minute and a half. You really should probably cancel this trade. Okay. The initial jolt didn't work for us, but if it fills long, the news was so positive, it might give you a reversal because maybe gold will follow that news down. However, gold's shown a propensity for really moving up since we got in the room. I was going to say, let's let it fill and see what happens. So I doubt, is it going to fill that second tier? But see how it filled you short by moving up, okay? And right now you could grab some profit. You could either move your stop. You could hit the close button. Right now you're in profit. It didn't fill that second tier, so you might as well cancel the out of tiers. Okay. And then if you want to be safe, you could move your stop to break even +1. Gold just wants to go up today, no matter what. That's what it seems like, even though the news was extremely positive. So you protected yourself from a loss because of gold looking like it wants to test the high of the day. That's really what's going on with gold right now. It's going to test that high. So this was the right day to test, folks. Look, you may still get that. You could still get that reversal. It certainly, there was never a panic mode today in the trade. So it is conceivable that our setup is fine. And on a normal day, and it would have worked had you stayed in, because see, you got out there, but you got another potential 10 ticks. Okay. So with that news result, that's why I let it fill, even though it was well over a minute, because there's always that possibility gold might wake up for a few minutes and follow the news and then go back to trending. Seems like it's trending upward today. But we've had no official setup at all on this trade. So now we have something to work with on both of these trades that look viable. Certainly, what gets you stopped out of a trap trade is an explosion to one side. But both of these reports have not really been exploding to one side over the past months. So when you see a report that doesn't explode, it can lend itself to the trap trade. That's why we're doing more of them. Okay. So if that was it, that's all we have going today. The rest of the week, we've got some interesting trades. Of course, we've got oil, gas, API tomorrow, FOMC minutes, which I think needs a little bit of testing. There's a new report that I'm just keeping an eye on, the short-term energy outlook. It's an oil report that we've never looked at. Jolts is tomorrow, and we may have a way to trade jolts. So Thursday is natural gas storage. The usual. Friday, Canada employment, core PPI, and WASD. And Thursday got unemployment, natural gas, and there's a Chinese report to watch. It's a little bit quiet of a week, but there's a couple of good possible trades. All right, folks. So that's what we got today. I want to thank our YouTube folks for watching. Give us a like and join the channel and hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're going to be here. It looks to me like gold ultimately is going to go test that high. That's my guess. So what's your 1729.20? It's not that far away. It's not that far away right now. All right, folks. So I'll see everybody in the morning at 9:30 tomorrow. 9:30 for jolts. Okay. So I'll see everybody in the morning. Any questions before I go? Any questions? No? Okay. Sign up for that webinar. It'd be real helpful to me. The link is right here if you scroll up. If you want me to put it in, I can put it in one more time, but it would be extremely, extremely helpful to me if you sign up for the webinar. And here's the link one more time. David, did you get any emails? Thank you, Sandy. Did you get any emails, David? Just curious. David's been having trouble getting some of the emails. All right, folks. So I'll see everybody tomorrow at 9:30. Okay. Have a good rest of your day. See you all later.